Hi everyone, Hannah from Wise Choice Nutrition here. I want to talk to you about how to give up sugar. So there are two ways to go with giving up sugar, and in this video I'm going to talk about how to go cold turkey. Cold turkey obviously means cutting it out completely and suffering potentially with the side effects depending on how much sugar you eat. But what can you do to make the process easier, and how can you actually stick to it? The biggest thing with sugar is that it's very, very addictive. So it's around about 8 times more addictive than cocaine. Obviously, if you turn up at your GPs and say, I have a drug addiction or an alcohol addiction, whatever it is, they will help you. If you turn up and say, I have a sugar addiction, most people don't get any help because we don't really recognise it as a problem. But it is a huge, huge problem, and it's not just a problem from an addiction point of view, but it's also a problem from the health point of view and the consequences of us eating such a high sugar diet, which we typically do in the UK and most of the Western world. So how do you go cold turkey? First thing, get rid of all the sugar in your house. You don't need it, your children don't need it, and nobody else really needs it. We don't need sugar to live. We don't actually need much carbohydrate to live either. And don't forget that we get carbohydrate from fruits, vegetables, things like that, as well as from bread, pasta, rice, etc. But we're talking about pure sugar in sweet food and fizzy drinks, etc. So what do? Well, once you've got rid of it all, then you need to have a strategy in place. What are you going to do to deal with the times when you're craving something? What are your trigger points? Do you sit down every night and watch TV with a cup of tea and 3 or 4 biscuits? In which case you need to break that habit. Stop watching TV, go and do an exercise class, get outside with the kids, do whatever it takes to get yourself out of that situation and break the habit. Because basically you've got to break this addiction in order for you to move forward. So it's not going to be an easy thing, I'm not going to lie and tell you it will be, but it is possible. And my 3 ways of dealing with it are, like I said, get rid of the sugar in the house. Get it out of sight, because that starts to help you to break the process. Change your habits. If you always have something sweet after a meal, then replace it with something else, but don't just replace it with a piece of fruit, because you're still feeding that sugar addiction. You're just getting sugar from fruit. And despite what everybody says, it's not necessarily better for us. Yes, fruit has health benefits, but it's still sugar, it's still that same psychological response. I've finished dinner, I need to have something sweet. The biggest thing is change your mindset. Get out of the need to have sugar. So you have to change your beliefs. You don't need sugar, but if you tell yourself that you don't need something, your brain doesn't hear don't, it just hears you need. So how you talk about sugar is hugely important. What can you say to yourself instead? For a start telling yourself that you want to be slim and healthy, or you want to be healthy. I am healthy. I am choosing to live a life that is sugar-free. Find whatever you feel comfortable saying and say it as many times as you need to each day. Say it in your head, you don't have to say it out loud. Just repeat it over and over, and every time you think about going for that sugary thing, whether it's when you're out getting a cup of coffee, whenever it is, start to say that to yourself. And it's all about breaking habits, breaking addiction. And it is tough, but you can do it. And if going cold turkey feels too much, then look out for the video on how to do it step by step. And I will talk you through that in the next video. Okay, good luck, and don't forget, you know where I am if you need anything. Bye for now.